Dorota, and I have a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel, so you can see it down below. Talking about myself will help me to relax, so let's start with that. So I'm a penetration tester and social engineer at Black Hills Information Security, and I work there at the anti-SOC. So it's a red team operations center that is offering continuous penetration testing. So we just penetrate the client's infrastructure all the time, so that's really fun. And I have a podcast called Ethical Hacking Guests and Wholesomeness that is streaming on Twitch, and then I put it on YouTube as well. I'm certified as a covert access specialist, physical auditor, and elicitation specialist because that's kind of like my thing. I really like it. So that's why all those certifications and not OECP or something else. And I received some awards. So I have a Woman of Hope award from CEFSIS that I received in Paris in 2023. And I was one of the 40 under 40 in cyber in 2023 from a top cyber news magazine. But we have in the room someone that is like the one on the 40 on the of 40 under 40 for this year, Adrien Lassalle here, third row. He's, yeah. And yeah, and I jumped out of the plane because I was afraid of heights. So yeah, that's I like cycling too. So yeah, that's yeah, okay. And if anyone is interested in those certifications that I mentioned, then if you want to buy one, then if you type Dorota 10, then you will get a discount. So okay, let's present here. So objective is to use social engineering for physical pen testing, and the end goal is to plant a flag into a server room of the clients, so using your social engineering skills. And what are we going to talk about is, yeah, I'm going to explain a bit what is social engineering, give you examples, introduce you to 4 stages of social engineering, then what are the tactics, what is physical pen testing, and some examples. And we execute a plan and gain access to the server room. And yeah, I'm mentioning at the end of the post-engagement reporting. So, but this is presentation for 1 hour and I have 30 minutes, so it's going to be a bit rushed. I'm nervous, so I apologize in advance. And disclaimer, like all the things that I'm going to talk about, please just use them for educational and business ethical purposes only. I know we can do bad things with that, but like please be nice here and like, yeah. So social engineering, what's that? It's manipulating people into performing actions, divulging confidential information, and into granting access. And the most popular like social engineering tactics that are like mentioned on the slide, I will not talk about those, just like, you know what is phishing probably. And as an example, typical components of a phishing email, like here on the side, but just like that exists, I will not talk about that. And an example, MGM Resorts in 2023 was attacked with a phishing attack. And so the attackers impersonated employees while contacting IT help desk and convincing staff to reset credentials and provide access to internal systems. And that helped them to deploy ransom on their systems and yeah, gain 100 million payout because yeah, they paid. So that's what happened here. And there are 4 phases of social engineering. We have reconnaissance, engagement, exploitation, and execution. And yeah, I will go back to this slide. So that's why the numbers, so you kind of can find yourself in my presentation. And okay, the first one is reconnaissance. So that's the information gathering phase. Details collected include personal information, organizational structure, online behavior, and potential vulnerabilities. And the purpose of this phase is to understand the target's environment, identify potential entry points, and plan an approach for the attack. And yeah, for example, an attacker might scan social media profiles, company websites, or LinkedIn to learn more about the target's job, role, interest, connections, like gain as much information as they can so they can create a better attack. And yeah, in the reconnaissance phase, we want to understand the company structure. So with OSINT, we look for like what is the hierarchy of the organization, who is the employee, what are like the vendors that they use or in business with, and who is the contractor of this company. And that's like, we can use sources like LinkedIn, social media, I already mentioned that a bit. And yeah, now it's like a bit like of a walk around side quest here, because I will explain purpose of physical pentesting, and then I will go back to reconnaissance again. So physical pentesting is a real-world threat scenario where the malicious actor attempts to compromise businesses' physical barriers to gain access to infrastructure, buildings, systems, and employees, and therefore exposing weaknesses and vulnerabilities in physical controls like logs, barriers, camera sensors, so that the flaws can be addressed by the client and like patched, so no one could bring in like gain access to important information. And before we start anything, we need the get out of the jail free card. And that's pretty much a clearly written authorization letter from the client's leadership with contact numbers to people that, yeah, if we get caught and like, I don't know, they called the police or something, they can pull out the document and like, or maybe they'll tell us to keep our hands up. So then tell them that we have it in our back pocket, for example, please don't shoot. And so, yeah, we need that document before we start to not get into trouble, not go to jail and things like that. So that's very important. That's why I'm mentioning it. And so method used during physical pen testing. So we are mapping entrances and perimeter. Yeah, dumpster diving could be on the menu as well. Lock picking, shoulder surfing. So we just, if we look through what someone is like doing on their laptop maybe, or things like that. Gaining access in a physical way, tailgating, so walking behind someone. And yeah, breaking tags, encryption, social engineering employees, accessing sensitive information, checking meeting rooms, and server rooms, wires and cable. We need to like test if like we can access those and like play with cables, for example. And yeah, testing fire and cooling systems and intercepting waves, testing network jacks, things like that. And let's get back to reconnaissance again. So you have like basics of understanding what physical pen testing is. So for the engagement, you also have to look for information like what is the entry point, what surveillance cameras they use, where they are placed in the building. You need the floor plan probably to know where you're going and like tag where the cameras are like placed, and like what is the coverage of, because maybe cameras have blind spots, so that's useful information for you. What security systems are used, so maybe that will give you information how to open the doors, and maybe they use motion sensors or things like that. Employee badges, maybe you want to scan like copy a badge of one of the employees and then gain access that way, or maybe they share it on LinkedIn, so you can just print it and use it as a prop to enter the building. This way, if you don't have access to actually clone one yourself. And yeah, you want to know what restricted areas, such as server rooms, where they are placed. Yeah, everything is important. Reconnaissance, in my opinion, is the longest phase of the engagement, and you have to prepare really well to just go in and do everything on one go and then go out and write the report and hopefully not get shot. Yeah, so you also need a solid reason to be in the area, like cover story. So, for example, you might be inspecting security systems or checking the server racks for overheating, or whatever that like a pretext would be for that story. Just prepare it before, and it's important. And yeah, dress code is important because then you want to blend in and like dress like other employees, like the same fashion. business processes, security protocols, so maybe they use a third-party cleaning service, so maybe you want to be one of the employees of that cleaning service, and then you have a good pretext and keys, and everything is for you on the platter. Okay, and what are the employee habits? So maybe they open doors for each other, and then you can use their like kindness and good manners, and you gain access this way. And necessary props to make you look like you belong there. Badges, uniforms, like clipboards, maybe I don't know, work orders, maybe laptop, something that will make you look like you belong there. So the next phase is engagement, and involves establishing communication with the target. So the attacker might initiate a conversation, send an email, or create a situation where the target willingly provides information or access. So in that phase, you build trust, rapport, and sense of urgency to make the target more susceptible to manipulation in the next stage. And for example, the attacker might send a phishing email that appears to come from a trusted colleague, and then you could ask to click a link, but I don't know, everyone is pretty suspicious right now, so I'm not sure if anyone clicks the link, but just as an example, you can maybe download an attachment or provide credentials under the guise that, or you need to fill out this form for, I don't know, HR or something like that. And then how to build the rapport. An example of that is, I wanted to mention example from the training that I took with Brian Harris' core access team, that he, during his engagement, just spent a lot of time in a hotel lobby, or was it like a office lobby, and after a few days, just sitting in that lobby, working on his laptop and like drinking coffee, the security guard didn't see him as a threat. He just was part of the environment, kind of like blending in, and therefore, just by being there on consecutive few days in a row, he gained trust of the security guard, and he didn't see him as a threat anymore. So, and then he went on and did his engagement. So that's an interesting example of building rapport, but it's also mutual trust that makes communication possible and easy, friendly, harmonious relationships. So you may also talk with the person, maybe mention they are doing something cool on their laptop, or I don't know, you want to ask what brand that is, or anything about them that you think it's cool, or maybe you want to pretend that you think that, and then therefore they will like you more if someone thinks I'm cool. Oh, that's great. So that's an example of building rapport. And then the next phase is exploitation. So the attacker leverages the information or access gained during the engagement phase to carry out the attack, and manipulating the target into divulging sensitive information, granting access to systems, and performing actions to compromise security. And the purpose of this phase is to access the systems, maybe data theft, or facilitating a further attack. And the example here is if the target falls for the phishing email, the attacker might get login credentials and therefore access secure systems and download files, or maybe install something there. So okay, let's move along. In this phase, you might want to try elicitation. And elicitation is subtly extracting information from a target in carefully crafted conversation, in a way that it doesn't raise suspicion of the target. And for example, maybe you want to start talking about a mutual interest or something that you found out about the person during your OSINT, reconnaissance phase. And maybe I like The Office, so I always say that maybe they like The Office. So you might start with their favorite TV show, and that's a good conversation starter, in my opinion, if that person really likes something a lot. And then you might, after a while, you talk, and then you may mention, I'm working on a project similar to yours, and how do you deal with a complex situation like that, or complex system? And then maybe they will feel obliged that, they already have the rapport built, they trust you, they think you're cool because you like the office as well. So they might mention something that they maybe shouldn't in like the, in the moment, like being, in the conversation there. So that's example of elicitation. And the fourth phase is execution. So we are finalizing the attack, achieving the intended damage, or maybe theft or disruption without detection. And that's pretty much like where we complete the objective and cover our tracks. So maybe we want to erase logs or like, cover that we did something there. So that's what we do in this phase at the end. And pretexting is what I mentioned before, that you have to create a scenario that looks like you belong there. So that's pretexting, and that's crafting a fabricated scenario where the attacker is impersonating someone with authority or business within the company, as an example. And maybe they will wear a wig on the first day of the engagement and then dress totally differently and without the wig on the second day. So that's like, you look like a totally different person. So that could be also a pretext, like you use it this way. Yeah, so for example, I don't have my phone with me, but in this stage, for example, you want to wear like this helmet, for example, and a clipboard. And if you go around with your phone like this, or I will use my stickers, I have them here. So if you go around and talk on your phone like this, then maybe you want to record with your camera what is happening in the building. Maybe it will be like suspicious if you look like this, but maybe you want to record something and like use it as a part of the pretext, and like maybe you're arguing with a contractor or something like that. Yeah. So let's move along because not much time. And to execute the plan, that's a very, actually like a cool box. So you can probably guess the combination without it being exposed above, but on the arrival, on normal business hours, maybe you want to blend in. If asked, confidently state your pretext. And you want to leverage human psychology. So if you act in a very confident way, then probably you will not be questioned, because that's human nature, that we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to interfere with someone that is officially looking, and maybe that person belongs there. So that could be one of the things. And I have an example here.
Understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? I was... Look again. Freeze it.
So why do you think that works? So in nature world, red color is a color of danger, but also for humans, interestingly, that's a color of love. So maybe if we combine those two, definitely you can stand out in the room full of people dressed in a very official way. So now I wanted to teleport you all to a bank lobby. And you walk into that lobby. Everyone is dressed business casual, black and white, ties, stuff like that. And in the bank lobbies, usually you have like a coffee machine that you can get one for free. So you maybe go to the coffee machine, take the coffee, look around. What is the security guard? What is he doing? Where is the camera setting? What kind of a gate are they using? And you just like casually drink your coffee there, and then your friend comes in, and your friend is wearing a red dress, you know, and she's pulling all of the attention towards her already because she's pretty and has a nice dress on her. But then suddenly she acts in a very chaotic way and drops her documents, so everyone is looking at her. So that's a perfect moment to jump the turnstile and without scanning your badge and use it as a distraction. So another thing that I wanted to mention here, it's good to work in pairs. So the other person can do some distraction and like be maybe a burner member, do some chaos, and then you will do your job that way. It's remember to document your findings during the engagement. And here I'm posting some print screens of my friend that work on many engagements, and he's like sharing his advice with me. There'll be a few of those, so a lot of reading. And he mentioned here that you need to take a lot of pictures, or maybe you need to take camera feed. But it's important to discuss with the client and ask him, is that allowed to record voice, video, and take pictures? Probably pictures, yes, but like the rest is better to ask. And what he's doing when he's like shimming doors or like lockpicking, sorry. He's putting his phone with camera on in his front pocket, and that's like, like already recording all the time, and that's a good idea. And if you're moving through the building, so it's important to get the document that I mentioned before, get out of the jail card, avoid unnecessary conversations. But if you're being like addressed, then improvise and like be nice and act confidently. Move in pairs, that's also like a good idea I mentioned before. Act confidently, very important, that's why it's already like a few times in my presentation. And try to blend in, like use the pretext, dress in a way that everyone else is, the clothes, and to blend in. Use distractions, so maybe the second team member is a burner, but pulling the fire alarm, please don't do it, it's not advised. it's going to get you in trouble. And then you are exploiting opportunities, so maybe you want to look for unlocked workstations, and then gain access to files on that workstation. Maybe there are like restricted areas that you can gain access to, and maybe there are like doors slightly open, and then maybe you can glue them with duct tape so they will not close again, and no one will notice that, because it's not, we don't look like this at logs. So that's another tip from me. Dumpster diving, maybe you want to look for sensitive documents this way, or like maybe, I don't know if passwords are still like dumpsters, so probably not, but it could happen, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Maybe employee list, to check them on LinkedIn and like gain more information on those people. Maybe you want to use like some of those employees as an excuse why you are in the building. Oh, the Brian from accounting invited me to do this, this, and this. And then, it looks more probable because you just gave his like name and surname. Shoulder surfing, so observe login screens, keypads, desk notes, documents. And gaining access to server rooms. So for that, you definitely already mentioned that, but you need the floor plan. So knowing that layout is very crucial, and you need to prepare very well. And then on the floor plan, you find the location of where are the key cards placed. Maybe they use biometric systems, physical locks, or other methods of securing the building, and carry tools and devices. And another example from my friend. So maybe you want to install a fake badge reader, and that way gain access to badges from the employees that will think, oh, that's another badge reader. Okay, let's do it. But actually, it's a fake one, so it's like a tricky way to get some badges from the people that work in the building. And what he said, like all the things, all the shenanigans he did inside, but exiting was never a problem. So he just walks out, and like all is good, Okay, so gaining access to the server room, another slide. You want to use, for example, engineering tactics to trick employees into granting unauthorized access and reveal sensitive information. Physical access techniques, like maybe you want to play with the logs, or maybe sometimes when they have like security systems on the door, you have to look at the door, because maybe they have like a lot of like electric devices there that you have to put like a pin and stuff like that, but you actually can shim the door, and no need to guess the combination. Yeah, maybe you want to establish communication with the IT to understand what are like the systems and security controls. You want to maybe use exploits or like some kind of a privilege escalation method. And maybe if that's in scope of the engagement, you want to conduct post-exploitation activities such as data exfiltration, persistent and post-tunneling. But yeah, probably it's not in the scope, so just mentioning like that. Another example from my friend, yeah, you can also install a sniffer on the reader in the server room, so it will get you codes for whatever, like codes with permissions for the client to mess with their equipment, since it's, that's like his way of speaking there. But yeah, as I mentioned before, maybe you just want to like avoid doing all of the like shenanigans and like bells and whistles there, and just shim the lock, because it's like they think it's secure, but actually the door is like easy to open in an easier way. So maybe you don't want to spend too much time on the door. And that's an example from Darknet Diaries. I'm sure you know the podcast, and that was episode 14, no parking. And what they did, actually, they gained access to the server room by just lifting the ceiling with janitor's broom. Yeah, so they just lift the panel in the ceiling and just walk above, and that's how they went to the server room. So I think that's pretty interesting. So how to get floor plans? Another idea is to maybe use pages like web pages like LobNet, or like pages where they show you how the building looks inside, what are the floor plan for people that would actually want to buy one. But then you can gain more information, what I don't know, what kind of locks they use, maybe what kind of a door there is, where is the like. Yeah, that's a really good information. Maybe not everything what I mentioned is on those pages, but it's a start. So yeah. Inside of the server room, you want to just probably want to plant the flag and exit. Most likely, client will not ask you to hack the mainframe or like anything like that, but just mostly you just have to put a sticky there, or like a picture with yourself with I don't know, maybe Flipper Zero or something prepared to plug into their servers. So that's all they will probably ask for you. But maybe they will ask you to do some other activities. So yeah, it depends on what is in the contract, what is the scope of conduct, scope of the engagement. And how to secure your server room, like all of this. But actually what I wanted to mention on this slide is like don't let cleaning staff in. Because some cases they have access to all of the rooms in the building because they have to clean it, but they are low security. They have low security awareness. They are not supervised during off hours and can enter most rooms. So that's actually like a good pretext if you want to maybe be one of them, like hire yourself in the company. And on the picture on the right, there is an example from Brian Harris from his training, that one of his engagements that he found all of the keys to all of the rooms just hanging there on the rack of the cleaning person. So that's an interesting find that end up in the report. So the exit strategy is that, there is no need to run. Just leave as discreetly as possible, but leave no trace, avoid triggering alarms or causing unnecessary disruptions that could raise concerns. If your pretext involves a time frame, for example, I'm just going 10 minutes in that room or something like that, then stick to it to not raise suspicion. And if questioned, then act composed, confident, and just I'm in the wrong department, so like figure it out on the spot. You have to be flexible with that, but just leave casually and don't make a commotion. Like don't look, I'm surprised, and then a curse word, for example. Yeah, after that you have to clean and do some reporting. So just don't leave any gear on the site. So unplug everything that you plugged anywhere in the building. So don't leave your things there. And in the report, put the tactics that you used, what vulnerabilities was found, and then you probably have pictures or like material that is audiovisual. So add this to the report as well. And recommendation on improving the physical security, social engineering awareness, and access control measures. And some tips and practices that are good to follow. So yeah, be very in order with the rules of engagement and legal agreements. Very adapt on the fly, life happens, so be flexible. A lot of things you have to improvise. Sometimes maybe with a friend, that would be useful if the friend sees that you're in trouble, he can pull you away or create a false scenario that is like urgent and you need to take you somewhere else. So that's a good, have a friend with you, that's a good thing. And the success of the social engineering tactics relies on your confidence, how confident you are. Probably if you act like, I'm a bit nervous, so if you talk like this, maybe that's suspicious. Why are you so stressed? You know, like what's happening? And then, risk awareness. If you're questioned or challenged, have a plausible backstory ready, and you know how to abort if things get too risky. If you get caught, then it depends on the situation, but you probably have to come forward and like say, okay, this is a pen test. Here I have a document. It's like, you know, your CEO signed. So it depends on the situation, but sometimes you're just caught and you cannot continue. And conclusions. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, then I will be in the Read Team Q&A. And you can also catch me after the presentation. Thank you.